Fields of Mistria is an early access farming game on Steam that I tried out, and I fell in love with it from the start. The story, the mechanics, and the characters you meet all have a certain depth to them, making the experience that much worthwhile. So far I played a lot of it, and as I progressed with it, I learned from the mistakes I made along the way. Since it's a brand new world, nothing is explored. So today I wanted to cover 16 tips for anyone just starting with the game, which may help you or not in the beginning of your own playthrough. And let's get into it. The first tip that I have for the newer players out there is for the museum. Like in any other farming game, this one also has a museum that you need to fill up, and how can you know that the item you have is needed for the museum collection? Well, just open the inventory and mouse over an item that you have. If the item has an icon of a building with a checkbox next to it, that means it's for the museum collection. The checkbox can be empty or checked, depending if you've already donated that item. So this will help you a lot when you need to go to the museum. This for me at least was quite helpful to find out, since I didn't notice it at first, and I was always going to the museum and checking if that item that I found was needed for that. So I hope it helps you out as well. The second tip that I have is don't ignore the museum and request board in the game. Those two things are crucial in progressing the Fields of Mistria storyline, and they should not be neglected. The request board has requests daily, so try to go there at the start of every new day. And always check for items that you have if they are needed for the museum collection. For tip number 3 is to get 1000 gold as soon as possible, which can be fairly easy to get if you sell everything at the start of the game and you actively complete requests without buying anything. This is for the general store bag upgrade, which costs 1000 gold and is a must-have early on, since you will need all the space you can get when exploring the world of Mistria, for all of those forageable items and everything else that you encounter. The fourth tip is about moving your chicken coop and barns on the farm. Unlike Stardew Valley, where you could move the entire thing through Robin Shop, in Fields of Mistria, if you want to move one of those buildings, you will need to first move the animals in another barn or coop. Or if you don't have one, you can just take them to Hayden's farm and leave them in the daycare, which is free. Then go back to the farm and remove the barn or coop and just use the blueprints to remake it at the location you want. And then just re-inhabit the animals inside. So this is how you move your barn or coop in Fields of Mistria. For the next tip that I have, it's about the stamina. Stamina, like in any other farming game, it's quite important to do certain activities, and you can boost that daily. The first way you can do that is by going to the inn and getting the daily free meal, which will give you 20 stamina. During the day, you can also use Juniper's bathhouse, which will fully restore your health and stamina, but for a price, and you can even use your full restore spell. There are consumables that you can buy from the clinic, which is the stamina restore, and you can even drink the water from the water fountains spread around Mistria, which you unlock further when you get a copper pickaxe. And also your maximum stamina increases as you increase the town's level. So from the start you have many options to choose from, which can aid you in your stamina recovery, and you should always use them daily. The next tip that I have is for the beginning of the game. As you start a new farm and move into the town, you will surely go around and explore the areas, but keep an eye out on the forageable items. There are many, and some are not even that noticeable like the others. I made this mistake as well, where I didn't even notice that the water chestnuts were forageable, and I thought that they were just a decoration. The cottontail fern is also like this, so if you see something, just get near it and see if you can interact with it. That will save you a lot of time. For the seventh tip that I have, it's about the tools in the game. The blacksmith in Mistria is different than the ones in other games. Here, you can purchase tools and not upgrade them, and you can even craft your own tools, which is quite different from the general approach, where you upgrade the tools that you have. I didn't know that at the start, so I played quite a lot with my worn tools. So when you get enough copper ore, just visit the blacksmith and get your better tools. And maybe even craft some other ones as well. And for the next tip that I have, it's about using those upgraded tools. When you upgrade a pickaxe, well, when you make a better pickaxe, go around the valley and break up those purple colored boulders, which will have a sapphire and stone, both of which can be helpful at the start for crafting and as a gift for the villagers. But they will also unlock areas which you can explore further. And the next tip that I have will be about all of the crafters in the game, and that is, you won't have to move items to the crafting benches around the world in order to craft items. You can just store them into your chests on the farm, and when you go to a certain crafting station, you can instantly use it to craft items, which is quite a time and lifesaver. Since I still remember the walkbacks in other games that I had to go back to the farm in order to grab an item that I forgot. I just love this new mechanic, and at the start I think everyone would just carry the items with them. I did that at the start as well. Just be careful of the lock button on the chest, since if the chest is locked, items won't be pulled for crafting. This is also good for items that you don't want to use for crafting and you want to keep, so make use of this mechanic a lot. For the 10th tip that I have, it's about the villager requests. Usually, a lot of the villagers will ask for certain seasonal items that you can find or catch, so it's quite beneficial to have a few of the items that you find stored in a chest on the farm, so whenever you get a request for that, you can easily complete it. And this chest should be locked. The next tip that I have is about the skill perks in the game. They are a main mechanic, and you should take notice of it early on and focus the essence on the things you need. My suggestion is to spend a lot of these on the combat and mining, since you will spend a lot of time in the mines, and these perks will make your trip much more easier and much more rewarding. But it's up to you. Tip number 12 is for the inventory again. That is, don't delete anything when you don't have enough room in your inventory. I made this mistake as well at the start. I deleted items when I didn't have enough room to pick up something. But it turns out, in Mistria, when you drop an item on the ground, it doesn't despawn, so you can come back another time and pick it up. This can be also used to just go around the world with a full inventory and just harvest the forageable items that you find. By doing this, the item will be there, you can pick it up another time, but the respawn timer starts again, so you will get another forageable item soon. This is a neat trick that I really suggest everyone uses at the start. And a tip for all of those ranchers out there. When you unlock the Currency of Care perk in the statue for ranching, whenever you hand feed your animals or by letting them graze, they will drop the currency shiny beads, which you can use at the stone chicken statue below Hayden's farm for some nice extra rewards. Tip number 14 is about clothing. In Fields of Mistria, you can create clothing presets for your character so you can switch between them anytime you like. You'll no longer need to keep the clothes in chests or drawers, which would take up a lot of space, but you just learn them as you progress with the story and add them to your character, which is quite nice. The next tip that I have is quite important, and it's to always check Balor's wagon. At the start, I really didn't know about its use, and I just bypassed it a lot. But after a while I noticed that it had some off-season goods. I think this is the substitute to the traveling merchant from Stardew Valley, but he at least resets his stock daily, so you can check his wares for an item you may need for the museum or something else. And for the last tip that I have is talk to the villagers a lot. Talking to them will uncover a lot of neat and interesting dialogues, as well as give you tips. Sometimes if you have a request for an item, some of the villagers will give you a tip on where you can find that item, and they will even tell you about their loved or liked gifts. It's just too bad that it doesn't update on the UI in the villager tab for their liked or loved gifts, but At least knowing this, you can give them any to update the UI. So talking to the villagers can help you out a lot, and it's fun. The villagers have their own personalities which are quite intriguing, and the dialogue is never ending. So those are my 16 tips about Fields of Mistria that can truly help you in the game. Since it's in early access, some of these may change with time, but I hope you found them helpful at least. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, and as always, I hope you have a great day and I will see you all in my next one. But till then, stay safe.